Hi there, today we're going to go ahead and start talking about loops. This is very exciting because if you take a look at this diagram right here, I have got this robot and his end goal is the target, and I see that I'll be able to use my touch sensors that we touched on last week. Get it? Anyways, so in my mind, I'm thinking about a path for this robot, and I see that I would like him to go straight, turn right, until he touches the obstacle, then he'll turn right, go straight until he touches this obstacle, then he should turn right and go straight and keep going until he touches this obstacle, and then he'll go right, and then, or he'll turn right, go straight, and keep going until he hits the target. That's a lot of code, and there's a lot of room to mess up in both coding it and speaking it. So what we're going to do is we are going to simplify all of this code by using a repeat block. This is really exciting. So what we are going to do is once we recognize that I've got a pattern here, right? Coding, I swear, programming is all about recognizing patterns. So I see forward, touch, turn, forward, touch, turn, forward, touch, turn, forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to control flow, and I'm going to drag out a brand new block. This is my repeat block, and I am going to put the pattern inside of the block. So it looks to me that the pattern started with, I think it starts with drive forward. So what I'm doing right here is I'm kind of breaking this apart. So let's see. Drive forward, hit the obstacle, turn. And then what this block is going to do is I could tell this to repeat as many times as I want. So I'm kind of speaking out loud. This actually happens a lot when you're programming. So you'll want your robot to drive forward, wait until he hits the fence, and then turn. Then I want that whole action to repeat itself. So then I want him to move forward until he hits the block and turn. And then I want him to move forward, hit the block, and turn. And so I actually wanted that, as I was speaking that, it sounded like I said that 3 times. I will run my code, see what's going on. There we go. So far we're good. And last but not least, if I was to put, so I see that I still need to go forward, right? And so if I was to put a drive forward in the block, this would actually mess things up because, actually, maybe it won't because your end forward is here. We'll just see what happens. Okay, so what I was going to say, but the really interesting thing is since we've got in this repeat loop, our very last action and first action are the exact same. They're kind of actually getting combined. What I was going to say was I could have just also put this piece of code at the very end because you saw that this repeat loop actually got me until right here, where all I had to do left was drive forward. So either place you put this block is going to be okay in this instance. This number right here is what we call an iteration. Let's see, let me spell that. Don't know how to. Iteration. So the number is going to be called an iteration, and what an iteration means is how many times are you going through that sequence over and over again. So the reason we like repeat blocks is because now instead of having this really giant monster, I can actually go ahead and just delete all of it, little by little, I suppose. But now it is much easier to read, it's much easier to speak, and it's much easier to follow if you somehow have a bug.